Alright, today's the day we're going to be polishing off this box. Let's see what deck we find. I realized I still have not opened any Mavericks. It's kind of interesting considering how many decks I've opened. No Mavericks, no Four Horsemen. Today's deck is Untamed, Logos, and Sanctum, Psycho Knave, the Locksmith Thief. Interesting name. Let's see what we got here. Oh, another card that I would like to see, just because I see Untamed is here, is Niffle Queen. I've never opened a Niffle Queen either. So let's see what we have in store. First card, Untamed, Witch of the Eye, 3-power Reap. Return a card from your discard pile to your hand. I did some disgusting things with this the other night at the tournament. I was able to return Nocturnal Maneuver, basically from turn 1 on. And the guy wasn't able to use any of his creatures. Eventually he had to overcommit his creatures, and I was able to then use Gateway to Disc to remove his entire board. So I forced him to overcommit with a single Witch of the Eye and Nocturnal Maneuver combined with 2 Halicores that have Skirmish on them. So I was able to really just pump out damage, and it was really disgusting to see all that happen. Hey, we got 2 Witch of the Eyes. Excellent. Niffle 3 power. When he's attacking, you ignore Taunt and Elusive. 2 Niffle Mamook. 3 power. Your opponent's keys cost +1 amber. It's a nice card. We got 2 of those. Hey, Kendrith Longshot. 3 power, Elusive and Skirmish. It's awesome to see a card that has both those abilities on it. Whenever it reaps, you deal 2 damage to a creature. Very nice. Big Twig. 7 power. He can only fight stunned creatures. Whenever you reap, you stun and exhaust a creature. Ancient Bear. It's a lot of creatures, by the way. Ancient Bear, 5 power, Assault 2. That means whenever he attacks, he does 2 damage to the attacking enemy. Hey, there's that Nocturnal Maneuver I was talking about. And whenever you play it, you get to exhaust up to 3 creatures. And Full Moon. For the remainder of the turn, gain 1 amber each time you play a creature. 2 Full Moons. Nice. Wow. Okay, that finishes off our Untamed, but 2 Full Moons with this many creatures, that is very good. I mean, this is 9 creatures? Holy, can you imagine if we got the Niffle Queen or Troop Call with that? That would have been sweet, but wow, 2 Witch of the Eyes, 2 Mermooks. It's a pretty good Untamed. Alright, here's Sanctum. Protect the Weak, it's an upgrade. 1 amber whenever you play it. This creature gets +1 armor and gains Taunt. Vimos Lightbringer, 6 power. Destroy each elusive creature whenever you play it. Sequise, 4 power, 2 armor. Whenever he reaps, you get to capture an amber. Ooh, Protectrix, nice. 5 power, whenever it reaps, you may fully heal a creature. If you do, that creature cannot be dealt damage for the remainder of the turn. Champion Tabris. That's a pretty awesome card. 6 power and 2 armor. Whenever it fights, it captures an amber. Nice. Well, tons of creatures. Okay, Bulwark. 4 power, 2 armor. Each of its neighbors gets +2 armor. That is really good with these creatures right here, because they already have 2 armor on there. That is, so whenever a troll fights one of these guys that's next to Bulwark, he can only do 4 damage. Sure, it'll take him out, but that's really good for the champion. Let's see what else. Oh man, I was hoping for another creature, but that's super greedy. Alright, now we have Whispering Reliquary. It's an artifact. As an action, you can return an artifact to its owner's hand. We got 2 of those. Potion of Invulnerability. It's an artifact, amber whenever you play it. Omni effect, so you can use it no matter what house you've called. You sacrifice it for the remainder of the turn. Each friendly creature cannot be dealt damage. That is pretty good, especially if we have a way to make our other creatures fight, which is available in Sanctum. It's not, it won't show up as often as it does in Brobnar, but that'd be cool to have with that card, considering how many creatures we have here. Terms of Redress. Amber whenever you play it, choose a friendly creature to capture 2 amber. Inspiration. Whenever you play it, you ready and use a friendly creature. Pretty cool. Nice way to be able to reuse either one of our Witch of the Eyes or possibly like this Longshot just to do some damage again. Oh, and the Ancient Bear. Yeah, it's pretty good. And the Big Twig actually too, to be able to stun and exhaust a creature whenever it reaps. It's nice to do whenever you're outside the Untamed house. Blinding Light. Amber whenever you play it. Choose a house, stun each creature of that house. The more and more I see this card get played by either myself or other people, it's a really, I've always thought it was a good card, but it just keeps getting a little bit better in my eyes every time I see it. Alright, now we're on to Logos, Osmo Martianologist. 2 power, he's elusive. Whenever he fights or reaps, you get to heal 3 damage from a Mars creature or stun a Mars creature. Ooh, Neutron Shark. Interesting. 1 power, whenever you play, fight, or reap with it, you destroy an enemy creature or artifact and a friendly creature or artifact. Discard the top card of your deck. If that card is not a Logos card, you trigger this effect again. That is a pretty good card, especially considering how many creatures we have in here. So we can essentially use this to knock out if our opponent has a lot of artifacts or a decent amount of creatures themselves. This will keep us ahead because just how many creatures we have in here. So that's a neat little effect. See how the rest of the deck looks. Dr. Escotera, 4 power. Whenever you play it, you gain 1 amber for each forged key your opponent has. I'm not a big fan of this card, but it's okay. Bat Drone, 2 power skirmish. Whenever you fight, you get steel and amber. I really do like this card. It's nice whenever you get steel outside of shadows, and the skirmish there is awesome as well. Spectral Tunneler, it's an artifact, and whenever you play it, action, choose a creature for the remainder of the turn. That creature is considered a flame creature and gains reap, draw a card. 2 of those. And Wild Wormhole, amber whenever you play it, play the top card of your deck. Sloppy Lab Work, amber whenever you play that, archive a card, discard a card. Phase Shift, excellent. You may play a non-logos card this turn. 2 phase shifts, cool. Wait, how did... Okay. Sloppy Lab Work, and now we have Lab Work. Amber, whenever you play it, archive a card. At first I thought it was duplicates. I'm like, wait, how did they get separated in there? All right, and then Effervescent Principle. Play. Each player loses half their amber, rounding down the loss. Gain 1 chain. Yeah, this there's a lot of creatures. Look like we had a decent amount of rares too. Let me glance at this. Felt like at least 4. Okay, yeah, so 4 rares. Got, let's see here. I like the archiving. I would have liked to see a little bit more archiving. Let's see, we didn't get library access to abuse this Wild Wormhole. Tunneler, I don't know. That's not that great of a card. Especially considering, let's see, we only had 4 logos creatures, so anytime we're calling the Tunneler, to only have these guys to use with it, I mean, this guy I'd rather fight with. I guess that at least gives him a reap effect. This guy already has a reap effect, and so does this one. Yeah, I don't know. It's not enough creatures to really make use of those Tunnelers. Don't really like the logos here. I do like the Sanctum. It had a lot of creatures. It had great action cards. The Blinding Light, being able to stun our opponent's creatures. Well, you choose a house, but obviously you're going to choose your opponent's house, right? We had the 3 artifacts. This also takes care of artifacts of our opponents. So we have 2 different ways to do that, both in logos, and now these 2 within Sanctum. Then we had decent amount of armor. Oh, I guess we only had... Oh, I thought there was more. We only had 5 Sanctum creatures, plus Protect the Weak. But then all of a sudden we get to this Untamed, and it's 9 creatures. Let's see, a little bit smaller though. Yeah, it's it's not gonna hold up against a Bravnar deck or a big Mars deck, but it's still very nice to have that many, so we can use the reap effects. And plus, we got these Mamooks, we got some sort of control. These guys are actually pretty good against. I had to play against a deck that had 2 of the Dominators. He had 2 of the Mars Dominators with the 9 power, 1 armor, and he was using it to protect all of his good Reapers and Mothers and things like that. And so these are neat to at least be able to get past a huge guy like that as you're trying to will it down in other ways. And yeah, definitely the Witch of the Eyes, having 2 of those is good. 2 full moves with that many creatures also in Untamed. Yeah, the Untamed is pretty good. It's not like super combo heavy. This deck is, it's definitely lacking combos. It's got some, don't get me wrong, but it's nothing to write home about. So I'm going to have to give this deck, let's go with a C-, maybe a D+, actually. It's probably one of the lowest rated decks I've ever done on here. I just think it doesn't have what it takes to make me want to play this at a tournament. So, alright, I will see you guys next time, and I want to thank you for watching. Subscribe and like.